Have you ever been labeled or considered yourself to be overly emotional, emotionally volatile, emotionally reactive, or emotional in any capacity? I think that a lot of people who either label themselves as such or who are labeled as such by others have two concerns, right? One of those being feeling like the boundaries are being overstepped in some capacity, and as a result, there being an inability or some kind of non-sufficiency in being able to verbally express how and that is transpiring and why it's offensive. But more significantly, the issue seems to stem from the fact that emotional regulation was not necessarily learned from a young age or is not being utilized in the correct manners. I remember myself being labeled all of these things quite a bit in my youth because I don't know, I'm the only water sign in my immediate family, so I tend to just have the most emotions out of the few of us that are there. And so, as a result, in my adulthood, I had to teach myself what it is that emotional regulation was. Once I saw that fall into line, and once I also started taking 10 minutes in the morning and in the evening to sit in stillness and silence, I found that those reactions, whether they were warranted or not, seemed to completely curb. And rather than immediately going into an emotional reactivity space, I found myself able to use my logic and my verbal skills to be able to counteract and articulate what was transpiring and how it is that I needed things to move forward in a productive manner, whether that meant continuing the interaction in that moment or stepping away and coming back to it down the road. Um, so emotional regulation, I think in regards to being completely responsible for yourself in that moment is really crucial to any form of success, whether it's in the personal life or out in the real world. Because I remember many instances of being a child and being what others would consider overly emotional or kind of explosive. And ultimately, it leads to a lack of productivity and also a lack of ability to be as far into your sovereignty as possible. So, emotional regulation is amazing. What is your familiarity with these kinds of steps? Because I found that until I was able to fully regulate my emotions, I was not really able to move forward in my spiritual practice.